Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And forgive me for being a little bit 4 minutes over today. I was with clients as usual on Thursdays, and so you can imagine it's always a long day for me because I normally see 3 clients, and then of course I do my show. And there were many questions that came in and stuff like that, and lots to kind of like look at, as you can imagine. Oh my goodness, so much going on in the world. Oh, look, I've just seen here that Sheri is here as well. Thank you, Sheri. We had a lovely collab the other day, which was really cool. Right, okay. So look, your questions are in, and there's quite a few. Oh, whether I'll be able to get through all of them, I will do my best. One thing I will quickly mention, I'll put here to mention here at the top of the show. This is coming from Mother's Tarot. Thank you so much. You wrote in the community section. She said, "Hi Hogarth, I love your programs. Thank you. I wanted to share with you that I was so intrigued by your archetypal spread, because as you know, I've been doing the archetypes for some of the douchebags in the world." Well, actually, you know, maybe Elon anyway, but never mind anyway. But I shouldn't use that word. Shall we say some characters in the world? One of them, of course, being Duck Larange, Putinshka, etc. Anyway, so she said, "I love your programs. I wanted to share with you that I was so intrigued by your archetypal spread. I wrote down your method and applied it and read on myself. It is scheduled to be published on the 15th. I was gobsmacked. Truly fascinating. Thank you for sharing us with it all." And she said, "I will credit you as well with the technique." So thank you, Mother's Tarot. I'm glad you found the technique useful. It's honestly, like, for me, it's like magic. It's like alchemy. That it was a gift. It was genuinely a gift. I remember it came as a download years ago, and I remember running to my computer, and I'm just so grateful that I wrote it down, because I think it will help a lot of people. And it is magical the way that thing works. It really is just something very special, and I really believe it's some of my best work. So I'm glad it's working for other people as well. I understand some psychologists have also taken this up. They're using it as a diagnostic tool, or a tool to kind of help others or help themselves and stuff like that. So I wanted to say that. If you haven't already, please don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe and share and press the bell notification. Not that anyone said anything, but I just want to give everyone a reminder for all those YouTubers out there. Remember, we don't get to choose what ads go on our channels. And I want to tell you something funny about Duck Larange. I mean, in a way, it's funny, but not funny. Yeah, let me tell you something funny, but not funny about Duck Larange, aka Donald Trump. Anyway, and even then I should say the name carefully, because, you know, the monitors, the sensors are everywhere. You know, they use AI now to scan every video, what you say, what you put. Oh my gosh, honestly, this is one of the things I've found with Duck Larange. If you put him in the subject title, or you have a picture of him, yeah, on your channel, he'll either get your video demonetized, or another thing what he does is, if you monetize your channel, i.e. if you have ads on there, guess what? If you're in the United States in particular, he'll put his ads on the content. So it's almost like a turn off. Do you know what I mean? Because most of us readers are always reading on Duck Larange, aren't we? And this is one of the things he does. Yeah. So remember, I did my archetypes on him. It got demonetized. Yeah, he was obviously the main one, whatever. So that is obviously some kind of agreement going on there. But that's also capitalism as well. And in a way, it's a kind of like a backhanded compliment in a way, even though it might be a little bit disturbing for people that might see those ads. You can just skip them, of course. But every person that advertises on a YouTuber's content, they have bidded for that. So if you've watched me and a Trump ad has come up, He has paid to put that ad on there, just so you know. So, you know, a lot going on there with Duck L'Orange. What else do I want to say before the show starts up? Now, as you guys know, there's no Catherine questions here, so we won't be talking about her in terms of the questions. But again, I just want to say thank you for the incredible feedback that I've been having on the videos where I've been looking at the royals and stuff. You know, trying my best to try and be as objective as I can, but also as well as saying what I see. The whole Catherine stuff, oh my goodness. Like, everyone's like, some people are like, why is everyone reacting this way? Let me tell you, this is pretty unprecedented stuff to have a kill notice put on a royal picture. Now all the agencies are saying they don't even trust the royal family anymore. I'm kind of like, well, maybe a bit late on that one. But anyway, but the whole point is the memes, oh my goodness, everyone's talking about it. And obviously the picture won't be, they won't issue the original picture. As everyone's going to talk about it. Look at me talking about it. But this will be the end of it. The reason why they're not releasing the original picture is because it's a chimera. It's a jigsaw puzzle. It's made up of several different parts put together. They say Kate's face is even from her front cover of a Vogue that she did a few years back. It's all a composite, a hodgepodge. So when the agencies demanded that the original picture be shown, the reason why the palace or William has refused is because there is no original picture. It is a chimera. The whole world realizes this now, and everyone's like, oh my God, what's going on? So what I wanted to say is this, and I wanted to remind everyone, this is more an archetypal thing, because everyone loves the fairy tale. And I think this is why this, in many ways, this story that's emerging is so disturbing for people, because A, we don't really know what's going on. B, we know that the palace is lying, but also as well, it really undermines the fairy tale, as it were. But what I want to say is this: fairy tales are warnings. You need to remember that. Fairy tales are warnings. And I want to show you this here. Look, Grimm's fairy tales. I've still not finished this because I've not been reading one every night, and I'll probably read some more tonight actually. But these are the originals, the original fairy tales. Look how thick this book is. This is the stuff that I used to read when I was a kid, and let me tell you, they are bloody dark. Not all that glitters is gold. There are such things as gilded cages, yeah? And the canary sings to be free. So I've already spoken quite a lot about Kate, and obviously, or Catherine, Princess Catherine. We'll see how the story develops. But so you read some of those stories, and there's an old French fairy tale called Bluebeard, yeah? Called Bluebeard. You know, read that one. And that will tell you something about the nature of the world. If you may or may not know that tale, but literally look up Bluebeard fairy tale and read it. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about that, because we're going through the times that we're going through. This is the composting phase, like I've been saying. Pluto is in Sidereal Capricorn, which means all institutions, like the royal family, old institutions, established norms, politics, government, big companies, everything, all of that, like that, is all breaking down, and we're starting to see the truth. Look what happened with Boeing the other day. I did it in my collaboration with Jen, of course, which I think was yesterday. Bless. Obviously, I'm a little bit tired. And Boeing have been having some issues with their planes recently, kind of things like doors blowing out mid-flight, you know, little things like that, you know, discharges of fluids and liquids and from the hydraulics and people banging their heads, 50 people injured and all of this kind of stuff. And there was a whistleblower that spoke in court the other day, said knowing what he knows now, he would never go in a Boeing plane again. And guess what? That guy has just turned up dead, shot dead in his car the day after he whistleblowed in court. Think about what that means. Pluto in Capricorn. Darkness being revealed in the corporate world as well. I mean, I'm not going to say much more on that, and I'll say entertainment purposes only, but you know, we're all joining the dots together here. Anyway, let's lighten the mood after I just came out with that. Let me find my funny book of quotes. 1 minute. On momento. There we are. And then we're going to actually start the story proper. Quite a lot of questions in from you. Oh, I've got about 10. I might be able to manage 6. Let's have a look. So here we are. The funniest quotations to brighten your everyday. What's in the theme here? Life, love, motive, mistakes. Oh, let's do one on mistakes. Page 139. Let's see what it has to say on mistakes. 139. Mistakes. Oh, this is a good one. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can never live long enough to make them all yourself. Groucho Marx. That's a good one, isn't it? Next one here. Laughing at your mistakes can lengthen your own life. Laughing at someone else's can shorten it. Oh, isn't that a good one? Cullen Hightower. Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah, the Schadenfreude. Man, quite a lot of that going around, isn't there? Over what is happening. It's a very good point. And then this one says, "I'm sorry if you were right. I'd agree with you," Robin Williams. And then another quote here. "If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month." Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, how wise is that? Anyway, I hope that's given you a lift, folks. Now, after my little preamble, let's actually begin the show, and I'll see if I can squeeze in a bit of Shakespeare as well. All right, so here, Sally Ann has asked, oh my God, this is a reminder. If you guys don't know about this, let me just say here. So, well, Sally is putting this up. Will the super rich Tory donor who said a black single female MP should be shot be held accountable for inciting racist attacks? Will this affect the voting at the next general election, or will women forget? I love your show. Thank you. Really good point. So just to put everyone in context, British question here. Rich Tory donor who's given over £10 million in this iteration to the Conservative Party, who are the equivalent of like your Republicans in America. And this guy, it was in reference to a British MP called Diane Abbott, who was part of the Labour Party. I think she got expelled, but she's still on the back benches somewhere. And he basically said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, I try not to be racist, but when I look at her, I just want to hate all black women, and she should be shot dead. Right. I mean, I don't even have to say for entertainment purposes only, because that's effectively what he said. So this is a major Tory donor. So you can imagine it's caused this huge furore. He's apologized, and he said, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Rishi Sunak called him out, said, look, you know, this is racist stuff, obviously. But guess what? The Tory party said they would still take his money. And they're not going to give the 10 million back because obviously it's long spent. So anyway, let's pull some cards on this. You know, listen. Pluto in Capricorn, as you know, ad nauseum. All of you, I'm preaching to the choir now, but many of you are new. And I've been saying for ages, haven't I? Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn. We're seeing the dark and the nasty come out of government, big business, etc. There you go. It's just yet another example, yeah, of that, you know, of that kind of nastiness. And they used to be known as the nasty party, and guess what? They still are. You know, there might be some, you know, I'm not saying anyone who votes Tory or whatever is a nasty person, but I'm just saying as a party, you know, all this austerity, all the lies over Brexit, etc. And, you know, all the absolute, you know, my thoughts. I'm pretty scathing of the US thingy bobs. I'm even worse with my own. I just think they are just utterly dreadful. And they have ruined Britain. They have ruined Britain. I think a lot of people can sympathize with that. But anyway, let's just pull the cards. What's the energy around the Tory parties? What's this? So is he going to be held to account? The answer is no. Because they said his even though his remarks were distasteful, his apologies should be accepted. Because I was watching one headline when I was going through the supermarket today. This one donor is responsible for 21% of the total donations to the Tory party. So obviously, if they lose him, they lose a fifth of their donations. Good job we're supposed to have donation limits over here, but, you know, with the budgets that we have in the UK, with what's required in the USA, you know, a political campaign wouldn't even get out of the door, the front door in the US. The money would just burn up instantly. The car would go, and that would be it. But, you know, it's all of this big business and government working together, which is the definition of fascism, according to Mussolini, yeah, who coined the phrase, who came up with it. So this is this kind of energy that we're dealing with now, folks. But anyway, Tory party, what's going on with them? What's their general energy? How they're going to do? They're now talking as well about bringing Boris back. I mean, like, really? Like it's so utterly craven and desperate. I'm not saying Labour's that much better, but I mean, like, the Tories are just dreadful. Anyway, let's see what the energy is. I'm having my rant now, and then we'll move on to the next questions. All right, the Tories. Let's see what's going on. It surprised me if the devil showed up here somewhere, but, you know, I don't want to preempt the cards. All right, what's going on with the Tories? Tories. Oh, surprise, 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 surprise. Oh, there's 385 of you here right now. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and spending your time with me. Much appreciated. All right. The Tories, look, here we are. Four of Pentacles. Look, they're holding on. Look, they know that they're hitting the skids. Yeah, it's all hitting the fan all at once. They're just reminded just how wicked they are. They're still the nasty party, and they always have been. They're just kind of greenwashed or whitewashed themselves with various different things. I'm not saying people who vote Tory are that way. I'm talking about the Tory party, and we have to judge by their actions. The actions speak louder than words. Look what happened over the lockdowns, where it just emerged that they were completely clueless, didn't know what they were doing, etc. You know, parties while people were losing loved ones on Zoom, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they were literally swinging on swings, having, what was it, wine Fridays and stuff, wheeling in, fridges filled with booze. I'm not even joking. I mean, this happened, yeah? But now look, Four of Pentacles, they're there holding on for dear life, yeah? Holding on to Boris, holding on to, you know, whatever, just clinging because they know they're about to have their hands prized off power, yeah? What's the obstacle? Oh, surprise, surprise. The second card in the 5-card spread can often be the obstacle. Oh, look, oh, money, big donorship, yeah, big donor from someone. How interesting, isn't it? The key donor coming out with those horrific comments, which are just way beyond. There is a lawyer who's works, a senior lawyer, works on a human rights, something Chakrabarti. Her first name has just gone completely out of my head. Anyway, she was saying even by the Tories' new laws on anti-terrorism, which she called flabby, too broad a definition and giving too much power, she said the donor would have already fallen foul of these new laws that they brought in, which of course is designed to shut everyone up. So here you can see the money donor is an obstacle. Now look, 8 of Swords in a pickle. Yeah, they're in a bind of their own making, taking money from such characters. And also as well, I think this is how they feel about the election. You know, they're rumbled. No one can stand them anymore. We're just sick to the back teeth of them. They need to go. Here they are trying to balance things out. I think this is Jeremy Hunt and the budget. Yeah, we just recently had the budget. You know, robbing Peter to feed Paul, you know, all of that kind of stuff, juggling around. But this is also a manipulation game, particularly when we look in the fact that they also have the magician as the outcome. So, of course, they're going to be spinning and manipulating as much as they can to try and hold on to power as they normally do, because they have no interest in ordinary people. It's all about the donors. So there we are. So that's that one there. Let's have a look here. Now, this is coming from Manuela Orchid. Thank you for your question. She said, hi, Hogarth. I hope you're well. My question would be if Germany will also in the future stay out from Ukraine, apart from delivering weapons that they already did. I think that would be important because with Sweden now 2 in NATO, is Putin already more furious than before? Thank you. So, oh, God, I mean, there's another question here, which is talking about the Pope. Which is interesting. Certain comments he made, which allegedly have now been retracted. Let's see what's going on, because Manuela Orchid, I think, lives in Germany. So let's see. And this is very important, of course. Germany is a huge economy, the biggest economy in Europe, one of the biggest in the world. I think having some issues with recession. Maybe they've come out of it by now. I'm not sure. But let's see, Germany in regard to Ukraine and Putin. Let's see what's going on. Let's have a look. Germany, Putin, Ukraine. Germany, Putin, Ukraine. Germany, Putin, Ukraine. Oh, look, a reversal's turned up. Do you remember I said I turned them all the other way just a few days ago? Look at that. Very interesting. All right, here we go. This is a tricky one. Look, imagine this is Germany. Yeah, this is Germany here, looking out at the world. Now, what we need to remember, though, this is a 2 of Wands. Now, Wands deal with passion, energy. But I associate them very much with entrepreneurship as well. So if you see here, this is a merchant here. Do you see he's wearing his merchant clothing, holding the globe, looking out at the world? This in a way is Germany looking at Ukraine, but also looking at its wider economy, which of course has been deeply affected by, because obviously Germany, like much of Europe, was getting a lot of cheap fuel from Russia. And of course, if you do sanctions and stuff like that, you cut off that fuel. It means you then have to import fuel from elsewhere, like America, but at much greater expense. And of course, those trade agreements, etc., Angela Merkel and all that stuff was quite, quite pally with Putin and stuff. She's sort of like ex-Soviet bloc. Remember, she was East Germany. I don't want to use that as an aspersion, but I'm just saying there was quite a connection there, a rapport, a shared history between the two, which I think benefited Germany quite a lot, because who doesn't want cheap you know, fuel and stuff like that. So this is Germany now looking at the world, looking at the global situation, but this is also looking at Ukraine and also having to deal with some of the financial ramifications. So I think for Germany, this is a tricky one of how to play this geographically as well. Germany is that much more closer to Ukraine than even the UK is, let alone America. So I can understand why Manuela is asking this question. Yeah. So these twos are about decisions to be made. Here in the obstacle position, we've got the Six of Swords, wanting to move to smoother waters, but this is in the obstacle, so we can kind of consider it reversed. It's almost like Germany wants to be able to move to smoother waters, but it can't because, of course, of the alliances as well with America and the rest of the world. But not only that, everyone wants to stand by Ukraine because if Putinshka, you know, wins, then, you know, that's not very good, is it? But also as well, this shows too that there's a stagnation. There's a sense of being in a bind, being not sure what to do or how much support to give. Remember, Germany was quite reluctant at first to get involved. Yeah, now it is involved. There is this sense of stagnation or feeling stuck, not being able to move to smoother waters. We look here with a card that genuinely just literally turned up reverse. When the Ten of Cups is the right way up, this deals with satisfaction, wish fulfillment, getting everything that you want and being quite smug about it. Of course, here when it's reversed, we can, not always, but we can take this quite literally. This is not a great situation for Germany, which I think it feels very awkward about its support in terms of for Ukraine, the expense, and of course the effect it's having on the economy. But also as well, if Ukraine loses, then what? Yeah, then what? So I think this is a big issue here. If we look, we have the Judgment card. So this is the clarion call. This is the wake up call. It seems things are escalating a bit. Now the European countries are now talking about conscription, etc. It's all going the wrong way. I do not want it to be going this direction. I think that, you know, we need to have some, there needs to be peace. There's clearly not going to be an outright winner, isn't there? Because this would have happened now already. And I think, you know, when I talk about the Pope, I think this is kind of what the Pope was talking about. He's retracted those comments. But there's like this wake-up call here. And I feel like Putin is playing like the longer game. He wants to exhaust everyone, fatigue everyone. Makes sense. The outcome card, though, is somewhat better. So here, this is talking about legacies. Oh, my camera just froze a little bit. Oh, come on. Some interference, huh? From... I wonder if someone's having a little interference. Let's just see what happens. Anyway, I think I'm back now. So this is the Ten of Pentacles. So it deals with legacies. It also deals with money, but institutions, several different generations of families and stuff like that. So I think this, in a certain level, Germany is probably going to commit to more support of the effort in Ukraine, because I think they're seeing it as an investment in their own future and the future of Europe, which in a way makes sense. So for Manuela, I think Germany is going to stick in because it doesn't feel like it can move to smoother waters, even though it's unhappy with the situation with its economy and stuff. But I think it's thinking about the long-term future and doesn't want to upset the allies. All right, so that's... Oh, where did I see that? Where's that question? There we are. All right, let's get to the next one. Now, this is coming from Campbell. You know who you are. It just says at Campbell. I think it's Teresa, isn't it? And so what she said here is, BRICS is creating a payment system based on blockchain, the platform used for cryptocurrencies. Will this have any effect on the US dollar? Great question. Now, as you know, I make my videos and I make predictions often years in the future before these things happen. What I'm going to put here is, I'm going to put here link video to dollar versus yen. Yeah, dollar versus yen. And in it, I talk about BRICS, I talk about China, I talk about the US dollar, and I talk about how everything is going to change. So just to give you a little context, a little background on some astrology, on the 1st of May, 2024, not too long from now, Jupiter is going to enter sidereal Taurus. Taurus is all about wealth, money, assets, literally stored resources, asset classes of all kinds. On the 1st of June, Jupiter will be joined by Uranus. Uranus is what? The planet of technology, innovation, shocks and surprises, etc. Global e-currencies are here to stay. What I predict is that from around the summer especially, this is when this stuff is going to be rolled out a lot more, because it makes sense, doesn't it? Jupiter deals with the economy as well, optimism, expansion in the sign of wealth, agriculture, food, money, assets. Then if you get the planet of tech coming in to the sign that also deals with currency, that means what? E-currencies. So this is coming. I did a video on this probably about 18 months ago. I got a little bit poo-pooed at the time because people were like, the dollar will always be used. Look, things change. Things change. And the BRICS is, from what I understand, is also going to be connected to gold and oil. So it's going to have a real tangible value because there is an issue with the devaluation of the US dollar. You don't need me to tell you that. Any American watching this will be able to tell you this is a kitchen sink debate here, because the what you get, your bang for your buck for the dollar now, is vastly depleted of what it was. And I know some people might think, oh, that's a bit unpatriotic to say. Well, first of all, I'm not American, but the vast majority of Americans know this, and you feel it in your pocketbook, don't you? In your pocketbook. So I know the inflation has gone down, etc., but it's just been absolute sky high, ripping high for everyone around the world for a long time. So even though America now is enjoying lower interest rates, good for you guys, or low inflation, pardon, it's lower relative to a certain point in time when, I mean, you heard me with my rant. When I was last in America in 2019, the prices already had gone up. When I went through New York airport, okay, maybe not indicative for all of America, but it was still shocking. It was still shocking how much the prices went up. I mean, like ridiculous stuff, like 10 bucks for a dozen eggs. You know, we're not even talking Whole Foods here. You know, I mean, like, come on, which is whole paycheck. You know, stuff like $10 for milk. I mean, okay, maybe in Whole Foods, but you know what I mean. More than enough of you guys in the States have told me how ridiculous stuff has got. Anyway, so will this BRIC stuff affect the US dollar? Now, what you got to know is a lot of countries are buying up gold, folks. They're buying up gold. China's buying a ton of gold. India's buying a ton of, everyone's buying gold, except the Americans. All right, let's have a look. Cryptocurrency. How the BRICS currency, how will it affect the dollar? Let's have a look. Remember, Pluto in Capricorn, changing of established norms. America's been the reserve currency for a long time now. It's going to be at least 70 years, isn't it? Something like that, if not more. Let's have a look. Okay. Will this affect the dollar? The BRICS affect the dollar. Let's not forget, too, it's not just BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China that have joined. There are other countries as well, which are also part of it, but Argentina dropped out. They're saying Malay's having a little bit of success. Oh my God, can you believe it? I just want what's best for the Argentines. Anyway, let's just see here. Oh dear. All right. Well, you know, guys, I just have to say what I see. You know, I don't sugarcoat it here. You get some humor, you get some laughs, but no candy floss on this show. Sorry. All right. Will BRICS affect the US dollar? That was the question that Teresa asked. Look at the signifier. 6 of Pentacles. So look here, yes, it will, because here you have the wealthy merchant, and then down here you've got these ones, the, you know, the paupers that are, you know, asking for money. But the most important thing here is, like, look at the scales. Yeah, BRICS will likely change the scales of power, of economic power. This is going to be like, so you know, as Teresa was saying, this is a system based on blockchain, yeah, which is the cryptocurrency platform. This is going to become the norm, everyone. This really is. This is the future, whether we like it or not. So yes, it will affect things. It's going to affect the balance of power of who gets what. This could even potentially challenge the dollar as the reserve currency. Now, will that happen overnight? No. Is it happening? Yes. Slowly but surely, less and less dollars are being held. Also, as well, when sanctions and stuff went that around the world, obviously for those reasons, to stymie Russia and its stuff, less and less countries, people hold a lot less dollars now than they did before. So everyone's kind of swapping and changing, you know. If we look here, we have the knight coming forward with his offer. Now, this can sometimes be referred to as the false knight, as you know, but I think this could also be maybe policymakers in America still putting forward that the dollar is the thing. Yeah, don't worry, it's all good. Stay with us, etc. So there's going to be a bit of a charm offensive here, but it has turned up in the obstacle position. So people may not buy into that story. There's also the inconvenient truth, of course, which is that unfortunately at the moment, the United States is in around about $33 trillion of debt. You know, that is a problem. That's not hyperbole. That's not conspiracy theory, that's fact. Yeah, anyone looking at that deficit is gargantuan, and it's going to go up more. Look at this, 3 of Swords. Yeah, so what? Heartache, disappointment, stuff like that. So we'll have to see. I think the messaging, obviously, coming out of Congress or whatever, they're going to try and put a positive spin on it. Yeah, they're going to still charm everyone and make everyone believe, you know, look, the dollar's still, like, you know, the main thing. And it is. I'm not saying the dollar's going to disappear overnight. No. But look at the next card. There is that element of heartache here. So what's going to happen is these digital currencies, they really are going to change the world. They're going to change the way that money moves. People aren't going to be paying for things so much in dollars anymore. They're going to be using Bitcoin. They're going to be using Ethereum. Every country is going to have its own digital currencies. You're going to have CBDCs, which are, what are they called? Central bank digital currencies. They're coming. So these are all going to be running on ledgers and transforming backwards and forwards on things like Ripple, XRPL, you know, etc. All of this kind of stuff. If we look here, the next card that comes out, we've got the 7 of Swords. So this can be what, trying to get away with something and what have you. The way I can interpret this is almost like part of the intention of BRICS is to kind of maybe steal America's thunder. Yeah. Or, you know, or maybe weaken the camp, because if we look here, yeah, he's got these swords, but you see some swords are left behind, but the camp is not able to fully defend itself. This is also about using cunning. Now, this has been known, this has been coming for a while, but this is also talking about how this isn't going to ruin the dollar overnight, but it may weaken it with time as more countries use alternative things like BRICS. And sadly, oh God, I wish I could be more optimistic with the cards, but the cards are the cards. As you know, I just read, you know, no candy floss here. I'm sorry, you know, there's places for that. But anyway, if we look here, we've got the 5 of Cups, but 2 cups are left standing. So there is an element where I feel, yes, it's probably going to impact the dollar, dent the dollar a bit, but all is not lost. All is not lost. Dollars will still have to be used. It's still an incredibly popular currency. But if what I can see happening is that there will be a digitalized dollar itself, which may or may not go down well in America, but in order to compete with these new digital currencies. So that's probably going to be coming out in the next few years. But thank you for your question. All right, so there we are. So that was the USA dollar. Write that down there. Let's see who's in the chat. Forgive me. Let's see. Let's have a little scroll down. Oh, someone says, Lizzie Walker says, oh, look, my camera's freezing again. Oh, for heaven's sake. I had to put a question in way early. Hey, Urrgh. Oh, maybe I missed it. Did you put it in the community tab? Because that's where I normally see the questions. If it's in here, sorry, I might miss it. So people saying hello. What's this? Someone saying, what's up, Hogarth? Do you go by anything for short? Yes, Hoagie. Like the sandwich, as many Americans are fond of telling me. Yes, everyone calls me Hoagie. So you can call me Hoagie, that's fine. And then someone's saying, dang it, how do I submit questions in the channel? I can't seem to find the community chat. So what you do is wherever you see me on YouTube, on my videos, you click on my face. Yeah, you'll see my face. You click on that. That takes you directly to my actual YouTube channel. And on there, you'll see there's a community tab. You click on that, and that's where you can leave questions and stuff like that. But leave them as well when I ask for them, because I announce my next shows and stuff on the community tab, and then people leave their question in the comments. If you drop some questions in for tomorrow, for Thursday Fry-Up, then obviously Thursday Fry-Up's already gone, and then I'm going to be doing the Hoagie questions soon. Do you see what I mean? So try and time it at the right time. Anyway, so there was that. Interesting question from Nicola here. See what you think of this. So Nicola says, the third secret of Fatima states that Russia needed to change, otherwise it would spread destruction and war. Was this the reason the Pope initially said Ukraine should negotiate? He's now backtracked, but would this have swayed his opinion? Very good question. Now, I don't know about the secrets of Fatima. If someone in the comments could let me know, but of course, Fatima, you know, there's it's like Mary is Mother Mary energy, isn't it? Basically, if I remember correctly, forgive me if I've got that a bit wrong. And there were predictions, and she would appear in apparitions to children and all of that kind of stuff. I remember those kind of things. And there's sort of like waters of Fatima that one can bathe in, isn't it? So, but add to my threadbare knowledge on that, as you can tell. So Mr. Pope said Ukraine should wave the white flag and negotiate because he said it will cost less life. And it seems he's gone back on that. So let's have a look, see. Was it because of the thing with Fatima? What was the energy around the pontiff? Who I've seen. I've had a live sermon with him at the Vatican, by the way. I'm not Catholic, but I was curious. I had to cross the barrier. Listen to this. I had to cross the barriers at the Vatican, because the only way you can get tickets is if you talk to the Swiss guard, who stands there like this with a big sword with a big hook and chopper on the end of it like that. And imagine there's this cordon of fence, and I went over the fence and walked over. Now, if I got chopped to death by this guy, it would have been my own fault and no one would have done a damn thing. But anyway, I walked up to him and he's there in his pied suit. And I said, I was told that apparently if I ask you, you have tickets so that I may have mass with the Pope. Yeah. And he looked at me, and he was like, yes. And he pulled this little booklet out of his pocket, flicked to a page, tore me off a page and gave me a ticket. And the next day I had mass with the Pope. It was incredible. And, you know, I mean, like you behind, you know, you're sitting there in the pews and they're handing out the bread and it's all Spiritus Sanctus, Anno Domini, you know, all of this stuff. And he's got quite a nice voice, actually. Like I said, you know, I'm not a Catholic, but I do have a soft spot for smells and bells. Let's not talk about the Inquisition and all the horrible stuff that was done by the church. But let me tell you, they don't know how to commission artwork. The Vatican is stupendous, but I just thought you'd like that little side note. Now let me pick the cards. All right. The Pope. Why did he backtrack? I hope you like that story. I wasn't expecting to say it, but there you are. And I think that was in 2012. I think I did that. You should have seen the crowds. Oh my God. They were like gasping at me. They were agog. Oh, this is interesting. All right. Literally, because they wanted to see what would happen. They thought I was going to get shot. I did it. I was like, you know what? Fortune favors the bold. It was one of the longest walks in my life. Anyway, so look, here's the pontiff. You would think he would show up as the Hierophant, wouldn't you? But I mean, that would be too obvious, wouldn't it, for the cards? But here he's showing up here, not as Joe Biden, as is usual, the interpretation here, but this is him, the Pope, which is what you would imagine to be a compassionate man, ideally. Compassionate, creative, spiritual. So this has to be the pontiff. Here in the obstacle position, look, we got the Ten of Cups. He wants peace. He wants all the families. He wants the suffering to end. Yeah. And I think that's why he came out with the statement that he did. But look, it's turned up in the obstacle position. So maybe it wasn't very well received. Yeah. If we look here, we have the star card in the middle. Now, when I'm reading on the politics, you know, I will often refer to this as the narcissist card. But really, we're talking about the pontiff here. This is a completely different energy. And we can go back to its more traditional connotations of the universe having your back, peace, redemption and growth after strife and struggles, because I think this card comes after the Tower. So I think this is showing the oh, I forgot. I've got to cover the boobies. Videos often get demonetized because of tarot cards, particularly as well, you know, with the star card, because obviously she's got all her bits out, hasn't she? Anyway. This, I think, is the what the pontiff is hoping for, peace in terms of Ukraine and stuff like that. Makes sense, doesn't it? He wants healing, peace to come. He is hoping that literally peace will win. You know, that there will be a victory here in terms of for peace. Maybe not. Well, I mean, obviously, if he's asking Ukraine to maybe wave the white flag, he's since retracted, but that would mean Russia would effectively win, wouldn't it? But then when we look here, we see, look, deep reflection. We've got the Hermit card here. So I think what is that it's more the Pope is reflecting on his comments, what he said, and maybe with some of the feedback that he got. But I think his intentions were good. It was for, you know, the families. He wanted relief for the families. He wanted peace and rejuvenation. You know, yes, it would have been a victory, but he was seeing it as a victory for peace, whereas maybe some people said to him, were like, what, do you want Putin to win? I could imagine there would have been advice like that. And it's made him reflect a little bit and kind of go within. So I'm not sure if it's connected with the Fatima thing, but I think his intentions were good. And I think they probably should be interpreted in that way. And I think I'll leave it there with that. How are we doing on time? Let's see. Oh, all right. Okay, we have to talk about this. Let's see who else is in the house. What's going on? Let's have a look. Hi, Virgo. Oh, here we are. Yvonne Jansky is saying, hi, your Virgo friend, solar flares hitting. Yes. 4.5 hours in the Apple store yesterday, getting a new phone. Mine died after 8 years. Good Lord. Yeah. So Duck L'Orange Carrot Top. What's up? Yeah. So yeah, the solar flares are affecting a lot of things. Oh, someone's saying, what happened to the George Clooney movie about Ohio athletics, Jim Jordan? That's a good point. Let's do a quick, I'm going to do a one card pull. I'm just going to pull one card. I know we normally do that on Hoagly, and it's only me. Let's see what happened to that Jim Jordan video, which seemed a film, which seems to have Rather died a quiet death. I think we read on it before, didn't we? But let's see. Let's pull a card. Jim Jordan, George Clooney film. Oh, well, look at that. George is keeping it under wraps. Yeah, here we got the Queen of Cups, which of course is a card of creativity, etc., spirituality, that kind of thing. But look, she has her secrets there. I think it's probably a bit too much of a bombshell, because obviously Jim Jordan is still in office, but he's not planning to go anywhere. And I think this is Clooney's probably got the project on ice. He's put the cloche over the top of his own project, probably not wanting to cause too much of a fracas and stuff before in an election year. So depending what happens, so I mean, you know, if Biden wins, he'll probably bring the film out, yeah. And if Trump wins, well, he'll probably never be seen again, yeah. You know, because, you know, oh God, if Trump wins, it's Gilead, yeah, it's Gilead. So he's kept that under wraps. He's kept that under wraps. All right, let's look at the next question. So this is coming from M. Wallace. She said, hi, Hoagie, my granddaughter just told me that she read on Facebook that the government, she says I'm in the States, so the US government, advised that we stock up on food, water, and oil. I asked what oil meant, and she thought it might be gas, petrol, before the solar eclipse in April. What's up with that? Prepper scare tactics, she puts there. If anyone else also knows anything about that and you're based in the States, let me know. Write in the comments below or in the chat. I may or may not see it in the chat. I'm scrolling down. But let's have a look. What's the energy of that? I think we got the lunar eclipse on March 25th, so not long. So we're already in the eclipse energy, folks, already, as we've seen with the royal family shenanigans. I can't, oh, God. I did a video about when Neptune went into sidereal Pisces on the 22nd of February, 2023. And I said, we are entering the era of deep fake. Yeah, that was one that was just spotted, but it was a deep fake. And there've been many other things like that, and there have been thus already. All right. Prepper tactics. What's going on with that Facebook ad? Allegedly. Have a look, see. Look, another what? Very interesting. All right, here we go. Gosh, 470 of you here right now. Thank you so much. Mwah! Right, what's going on with the ad is what, look, this is a very emotional thing. I think this is probably to trigger an emotional response in people. Let's put it that way. Yeah, to trigger an emotional response in people. This is normally a very positive card, but when you see the next card, you'll see why I'm saying it's to trigger an emotional response. Because in the obstacle position, we have the Nine of Swords, which is what? Worry, loss, fear, yeah, nightmares, being worried about stuff. So if we put that together with the emotions, it's like, oh, maybe this is to kind of amp up a bit of fear, make people worry a bit, you know, because it's a very unusual thing, particularly if this came from the government. If anyone can help clarify in the comments for me, do let me know. If we look here, there is an element here. Look, we got the Seven of Pentacles, and this is about, I call this the card of ROI, which means return on investment. So someone or some entity is looking to get a return on investment on this ad, on this thing to kind of do with fear. And one has to question, what kind of harvest are they looking to reap? What is this about? This is about this can also represent the spoiled harvest, but more when it's when it's reversed. So you can see here the person is pondering the seeds that have been sown. So I'm thinking like this is to sow maybe kind of seeds of doubt, fear, perhaps. Who knows who's behind a lot of these adverts on Facebook? Remember, you pays your money, you get your ad. That's capitalism for you. If we look here, we've got literally the Fool card in reverse. So remember, I turned all my cards around last week and I'm getting reversals again. This time it's the Fool. So when the Fool is the right way up, this is what a leap of faith, isn't it? Taking opportunities, knowing that the universe is going to catch your back. When it's reversed, we know this can literally mean foolishness or foolhardiness or ill thought out plans, recklessness. Yeah, there's an element of recklessness to this. And then the outcome card is one of walking away. Yeah, walking away. So I think this could be people walking away from such advertisements like this, or was the intention to engender a sense of loss or walking away in people that perceive the ad. I don't know. It's mixed. But what I'm thinking is that it's going to have the opposite effect of what intended. People aren't going to like it, and they may not necessarily be buying into this. And it could actually just make more people walk away from Facebook, quite literally. Yeah. So for me, this is like I'm going to say a misguided message used to engender a strong emotional response, cause a bit of panic, a bit of worry. Someone's put some money into this, clearly, because you have to pay to use Facebook ads. So they're looking to reap some kind of harvest, but it's ill thought out, slightly reckless, and it will probably make people walk away. So Facebook's got to be really careful about the kind of ads that they're allowing on their platform. Let me just, for entertainment purposes only, but you know, I rarely use Facebook. I ask my clients to leave me reviews on my on my archetypal blueprint page, but that's about it. Unless I'm going to announce like, please sign this petition and stuff, I don't really use Facebook that much. And I certainly don't trust it, unfortunately. I really don't. Let's see how we're doing on time. Oh, the time has flown. Oh, do you know what? Oh, there's two really interesting questions. So one is saying, Denise Ferguson, I don't think I'll read on it because I've done a lot of Catherine stuff already, but she said, what is the monolith that has popped up in Wales? I thought it was odd, the sickness around the Princess of Wales. These monoliths have popped up in areas in the world. What are they? I don't know. I might have to look into that. Maybe that could be a hoagie. I don't know. I have to see. Nicholas says, India is introducing a citizenship requirement. That means that Muslims cannot apply. Yeah? Narendra Modi, yeah, we know he's... Does India's chart show how the future will be if Modi continues in power? So I don't have enough time for an in-depth, obviously, dig through India's chart, which is a very interesting chart. But let's just ask the cards. What will the future be like if Modi wins again? So I think the Indian elections are happening either late spring, early summer. Forgive me if I've got that wrong, but it's this year. Remember, 49% of the world is also voting. 49% of the world's population is voting this year. Pluto in Capricorn, government. All right. What will happen to India if Modi wins again? And we understand that he's a bit of a nationalist, isn't he? Sort of Hindu nationalism from what I understand, but I don't want to misspeak because I don't know enough, but I think that's the broad strokes. I think I'm right on that one. Let's have a look, see what the cards say. All right. Narendra Modi, if he wins again, what does this mean for India? What does this mean for India? Which I will visit one day, especially as I'm do Indian Vedic astrology, as you all know. What does this mean for India? Let's have a look, see. Oh, well, I'm not surprised. Oh, look at that. Ah, well, This is pretty incredible. I've pulled 5 cards for India, and they've got 4 major arcana. And the question is, what would happen if Modi is elected? Very interesting. All right. First of all, we get the strength card. So, well, look. It should come as no surprise that India is seeking to increase its presence on the world stage. It's already a very significant country. This is the most populous nation on earth, now more populous than China, because, of course, you know, China didn't allow people to have many babies. Oh, surprise, surprise. Now they've got population issues, but let's not get sidetracked. So this Modi's intention, if he wins, is to increase literally the strength of India upon the world stage. That's how I'm interpreting that. He may also be seen as a strong leader, but is someone as well that also gets rid of opposition via various different methodologies. Yeah, but his intention is one to increase India's standing in the world by any means necessary. Yeah, we've got the magician here. So he really is, this is BRICS, obviously, is part of it, because that is the I in BRICS, India. I think India has an incredibly bright future, regardless of Modi or not. I really do feel India's time is coming. It's been happening for a while, but they'll soon overtake China at some point. But anyway, if we look here, because they've just sheer population growth and all of that kind of stuff, and intelligence and very well-trained people and all whatnot. Anyway, so if we look here, though, this is the magician, which is as above, so below, and using every tool on the deck. It's turned up in the obstacle position, which means it does mean it takes on a bit more of a manipulative connotation. But it seems Narendra is determined for India's strength to increase. I think that's a fair assumption. Now we're talking politics. Look, the star has turned up again. On one level, if we give it the benign interpretation, this is about the universe having India's back. Its blessing, as it were, wanting to give it grace and a rejuvenation. But as you know, when I'm reading on politics and leaders, my shadow interpretation for this card is the narcissist. So I think it's just as much as well for Narendra's ego and his sense of temporal power, as well as India doing well on the main stage. If we look here, look, there could be some dicey things going on, particularly around the election. Again, we have the 8 of Swords who's turned up again. But this is someone being bound up here. I think this is to do with the citizenship thing, which apparently excludes Muslims, which would be outrageous. You know, India's full of many religions, a tremendous culture, thousands of years old. You know, India was doing cool stuff, you know, while people in Europe were still running around on clogs. You know, this is older than the, you know, Vedic astrology is at least 5,000 years old, probably 10,000 years old if you included oral tradition, etc. So India is a place of many, many cultures, many, many languages, many, many religions. But it's almost like Narendra is trying to bind up the Muslims here. Yeah, for entertainment purposes only. But how else can I interpret that card? And then if you look here, we have the Hierophant. Yeah, so again, this is what the arms of government, traditionalism, doctrine, but also as well organized religion. So this is one of the things that's been discussed quite a lot about Narendra Modi, is his sort of, people have referred to it as Hindu nationalism. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. And if anyone is Indian watching this, please feel free to educate me in the comments. But that's what I understand is at the stage right now. And so here, this is about using all the tools and the levers of government to have one's way. So I think basically if Modi wins, then, so if we look at it from this perspective, if we read it backwards, this is the perspective of Modi here as the supreme authority giving doctrine. This is literally the Pope card, which didn't actually come up for the Pope, but you know, because he's a bit more of a gentle energy, I think. But this is literally being Pope-like, being a pontiff, giving doctrine. He decrees that he wants the Muslim population, it seemed, to be stymied, to be tied up, inhibited in some kind of way, perhaps because of a narcissistic desire of his and a love for power. And he's prepared to use every trick in the book, some of them not so nice, in order to increase his strength within India and the world stage. So as you know, sometimes I like to read the cards backwards. I hope you found that interesting. The time has gone. I can't believe it. 4 minutes over already. So please don't forget to like and subscribe if you find the content interesting. Thank you to everyone who has been donating to the channel as well. If you can't donate, then what I would suggest is watch an ad, but count to 11. Yeah, count to 11 and then skip. Yeah, because that really helps, because I know a lot of people want to support the channel. Not everyone has money, particularly in this cost of living crisis and stuff. And actually, when you watch an ad, it really genuinely helps me and my channel. So I want to thank you all for the support. I hope you guys found that interesting. If you guys want to know about, you know, Kate and my view, Catherine, my views and stuff, you can just watch my recent videos. I think it's in the Royal playlist. You can have a look at that. There's an archetypes playlist. Thank you as well for those that are taking on the technique and also giving me a credit as well. Thank you. And thank you for in general for all of the support and all the love and the questions. So you'll next see me, of course, on Urrgh. On Urrgh. Yeah, I was thinking I've run out of time. I was going to do a Shakespeare on Modi, but I don't have time. I need to sleep as well. So I will leave it there for now. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And you will see me on Urrgh on Saturday. All right. Bye for now, everyone. Cheers. Mwah!